Okay, I started a video. I went all the way through the neighborhood, not filming, not videoing, because I worry too much about getting kids in my videos. And then I finally got to this part and started it, and there was somebody walked by with kids. Like, this is my luck. And this is what the video is about. It's about luck, which I don't believe in. I don't believe in bad luck, good luck, any luck. Okay, I just believe these things happen. But, you know, every time I say something like that, you know, or jinx or anything like that, I say I probably should. After all, how does my life go? But this one, I want to see how I'm going to tell this story. And in that little short clip that I made, I said I want to see if I'm going to be able to get this, get this story out. And like one more or two more sentences, there was the child. Oh, so I'm starting over. Anyway, so what happened to me? You know, I'm kind of quite surprised. I'm a person who does not like going to the doctor. I do not. After all the really, truly, bad crap that I put up with healthcare professionals, I shouldn't stop. I've said before, I don't really want to call them professionals, because the ones I've seen, I'm not talking about all, I'm talking about the ones I've seen. That most of the ones I have seen have been horrible. Okay, just downright horrible. And I have a rare health condition, which apparently that means to them, because they don't want to have to deal with somebody with this health condition. That means that they're going to be really, really mean to me once they find out, or at least once they find out, and then they go and check and see what that exactly means, and then they realize they don't want to deal with it, so they come back the next time I go back there. They come back mean, fierce. I'm talking the rudest you can imagine. Seriously, nervous laughter. Not really nervous laughter. I'm just fed up laughter. How about that? I'm a cheerful person, believe it or not, but I have had some just horrible experiences. So, with these people, seriously, no matter what level, doctor, DO, let's see, what else? The nurse practitioner, just the nurse. I don't know if there's any difference now as there used to be. And PAs, even the MAs, and I don't consider them at all healthcare professionals. And they go to school, and some of them as little as 5 to 6 weeks, and then they think that they're at the same level. No, you're not. So, I just don't see that. My opinion. Anyway, I mean, there's so many different things, but anyway. And I've just seen none of them is good. Like the one that wagged her finger in my face and said, "I am going to tell you what to do, and you will do it." I'm not kidding. And Adam was with me because I brought him again. I had said I was going to have him with me so I won't be mistreated. And instead, she looked at him, wagged her finger into his face, and boy, and said, "And you will make sure she does." Yeah. Wait, I did say the second part. She said, "And you will mind me." This is Texas, okay? I've heard plenty of stereotypes about Texans, and including Texas women. Or was it me that put that out there? But we don't usually take crap off of people. I think the two of us were stunned that some little bitty, she was a little bitty twit. I didn't use words like that. She was just this little tiny, probably, maybe if she weighed 100 pounds, it would be a miracle. And she just thought she came from a country where they have a dictatorship, and apparently she thought she was going to have her own here. I never went back, but I didn't do anything. That time I didn't. I just, call and speak to, because she was a part of a group, and try to find out call the group or something. I don't know what I would do. I don't know what a person would do. I do know that trying to complain about a doctor is like pulling teeth. The last thing I've heard, it really is. You have to write it all out. How many people do you think are going to do that? This is Texas. Did I mention this is Texas? Yeah, I'll keep saying that. Anyway, I have just had truly terrible experiences. Like going to an ER without health insurance, and like last year, and then after They didn't really tell me anything each 3 times last year. Today was a year ago, the first time. And once again in May. Today's May 2nd. Then another in June. I think it was May 2nd. Anyway, and when they didn't really tell me anything. It was mainly what I would ask questions, and the treatment was just, trust me, terrible. And I would ask questions, nobody would answer. Crickets and double talk BS. Double talk just. Some of them not even making any sense. Adam was with me the second time in the room, and when one of them walked out, he said, "Did they say anything?" He was being sarcastic, but for real. Did they say anything? No. So nothing that they said made any sense at all, and it didn't. It was just a terrible experience. Well, anyway, the healthcare providers I saw since then, I've seen since then, some of them actually did make an opinion, which was it could have been, but yeah, when they all say the same things, it could have been chronic. A congestive heart failure. And what I went home with, what they did there, besides double talk BS, not answer questions, not answer answers, and that stuff, they sent me home with a prescription for antibiotics. Yeah. Anyway, the treatment has always been terrible. Always. And always. Anyway, there's so much to this. But basically, flash forward, I went through all this stuff trying to get in healthcare insurance. I live in Texas, did I mention that? And they said, why don't you try for Medicaid? And because I live in Texas, I went through all that, and I just went through all that again today, talking to somebody with, were those answers? And no, it was basically kind of like the same, and being hung up on, not really hung up on, they put me, the first woman, she put me back through the automated system because she didn't know the answer. These are the people who are supposed to know the answers. And then another one, she listened, she was all that, the platitude kind of person. And basically at the end of it, she said, well, it seems like my phone is, our system is messing up, so it's probably going to hang up on you. And I just said, yeah, you own this road, girl. Seriously. Oh, it's not a road, but you get it. Oh, really, I don't know what I live in a crazy world. But anyway, I guess I'll take your spot because it's a long way. There are no parking places, but it's kind of far from the store. Anyway, I'm sure there's nobody that's going to jump out in front of me and get it. Well, I wouldn't have gotten that one anyway. I don't think you need to see this person. Okay, anyway, he's leaving. So anyway, this is a lot of stuff. It is a lot. And I'm not going to go all the way back to everything. But basically, flash forward, and today, like I was saying, I was dealing with trying to find out about this Medicaid once again. The basic thing, I keep going back around with them. One gives them encouragement, and the other one will say, well, no way. Are you going to get Medicaid? I'm not going to be able to get Medicaid. I'm also not going to be able to get, which I've never tried. I have been considered as disabled since I was a child because of a rare health condition. Okay. I don't think they considered things like that back then. They actually called it that, but that's what it was. That's what it would be called now. Since I was a child. Through my adulthood, I'm 60 years old. And never had been on disability, never had been on any kind of anything. No Medicaid, no disability, none of that stuff. Okay. And I'm not saying anything about anybody who is. I know I actually should be. I should have been I should have been decades ago. But nope, that's not how. Did I mention I live in Texas? Did I mention that? Yeah. Don't think I won't say it again. I will, probably. But so I went through all this again today with the health insurance, and I'm doing these food deliveries because of my edema, which is swelling legs, feet, ankles, this kind of thing. And having to do that, having to work and do food delivery because I can't work in an office or any other kind of environment because I don't know when my legs will start swelling, if they will start swelling, all that starts swelling. And then I have to go home, put my feet up. Can you imagine trying to do that at a job, a full-time job, when it could happen that, and also, as I have learned, it can happen that it swells up today, and it won't really go down for days. And so I can work today and then not work for a few days. No, what job is going to hire me? What job is going to let that happen? And don't get me started on trying to go through. Did I mention I live in Texas? Don't get me started on that. The first time I actually started to go through them was in 1990s. Yeah, never were of help to me. Always was much more worse for me. But I'm not saying what. See, this is why I don't really tell a lot of the story, because I have to say some really negative things. Did I mention I live in Texas? Yeah. I am shaking my head, man. It is so pathetic. But I really don't like to point out which. I could just say I live in Texas. So anyway. Oh my goodness, you would not believe. So today I went through the usual. This place says call that place. That place says call that place. That, the same place. They just keep saying call, ABC says call XYZ and XYZ says call ABC. Okay? And it doesn't stop. Decades. Okay, decades. By the way, a little funny. One of these women, at one of them, I said, there's no way to rush this or anything. Is there no quicker way of doing all this? And she said, she basically answered, there's no way to rush it or anything like that. I said, well, that's true, because I started this in 1990s. The way it flowed. It flowed. I mean, really, seriously, 1990s. I don't want to be dramatic, but come on. That's what I told her. I said, I don't want to be dramatic, but come on. I started this the first time was in the 1990s. Seriously. Anyway, there's no way to rush it. Did I mention I live in Texas? So anyway, all this stuff. Now, I also want to mention that I do all this to get this health insurance. I got this health insurance, and it's just too hard on my legs and all this kind of thing. It's just too difficult. How am I going to do it? I ask these questions. Anyway, and one of the reasons why, what taught me was going into the hospital last year, the ER, and the way I was treated, and what, like the other outside of that place, healthcare provider said was I probably had chronic congestive heart failure. Okay, congested. Anyway, and I don't want to ever experience that again. I am willing to pay a high price for my health insurance. Can't do it. But that's through the people that it's supposed to be affordable through. Did I mention I live in Texas? But no, it's not affordable. And I see some, but then there's a whole thing you have to go through this state because you're in Texas. Oh, boy, I'm being penalized for living in Texas. It wasn't my choice to be born here, but it is my choice to move out. Take everything with me. God. I think more people need to do that. If they're going to continue this of punishing us for being our age and actually having some assets, I think that might. Well, I can't say that. Strike that. I didn't mean to say that. Did I mention I live in Texas? Anyway, this whole thing. I mean, just it's so unbelievable. It is so unbelievable what I've been put through for this. And so much, in fact, that I have to walk away, decades. I've had to walk away and say I'm not going to even call and try because my blood pressure would go shooting up so high and stay high. Like yesterday, it was 200 over something. The bottom's usually normal or low, but 200, yeah, that's pretty high. And just trying to get answers. But also, there was this, once again, to me, I don't like to go to the doctor's, as I started to say. I am not a person who wants to go, definitely who doesn't want to go to a hospital. Oh my gosh. I would definitely, after last year, don't want to see an ER, or so-called professionals, healthcare professionals. I can't really call it care. You know, the health care, are they really doing anything health? But just writing a prescription for antibiotics? You know, and they make you sit there for 4 hours before they give it to you. And, yeah, when all they have to do, and all they do, is call it in. Yeah, but they're not going to give you anything to exit until about 4 hours. The different ones. So, anyway, once again, a person who does not want to go, I got choked to get to the latest time I had to go to the ER. I got choked on what, you know, people jokingly call horse pill. Is a vitamin. Of course, it's not a horse pill, but it's a vitamin. It's a really big one. And I've been taking it for, say, 8 years or so, never, and with other stuff. And never, ever got choked on it. Ever. Never, ever. And so it's not like I would have been, you know, there's a possibility of getting choked. No, because I never have. And I just wouldn't think I would, even though it's a big one. I just don't. I had to take two different pills like that, same size. Anyway, and one of them you can't cut up. It's a gel, or whatever they call them. Anyway, I keep saying anyway. So I got choked. I managed to, you know, cough it to where I could breathe, you know, to where I could breathe. But I don't know how this happened. I really don't know how this happened. The whole thing. But I got it so I could breathe, you know, enough. Then it got lodged in something, which I wouldn't know because, you know, healthcare is not my thing, not my area of specialization. I'm no voice of authority on it. So I would not know where it got stuck. And it got stuck. Okay. Now, some people would say it got stuck in the wrong hole. I know that's what a lot of people say, but I don't even know if that was the case. It just got lodged inside of my, like around my neck. And anytime I would try to speak, it would move, which would also make me fear that it was going to get, I was going to get choked on it again. Imagine this. It was early in the morning. I need to change the time of day I take those pills, but no, I cut it in half now. Anyway, oh my goodness. So it got lodged in. I got that fast enough. You heard me growl. But it was a child, and you know I don't put children in my videos. So anyway, I tried really hard. There's a woman sitting next to me. You want to hear mukbang? She's sitting in the car next to me. I don't know her. Some stranger. But she just come back out from the store and she must be really hungry. She must have gotten something in the store to eat and she's really hungry. But anyway, so I got choked. Way to go. Choked. And, okay. Anyway. And it got lodged, and anytime I try to speak, so I drove myself down to this hospital. It's about 20 minutes away to the ER, which, like I said, I really don't like going to these places because I've been there before, and this is what happened. I called on the way to the hospital, to the ER, and I told the woman who answered, I said, I'd like to find out who's the doctor. Well, I told her the situation, and that they kept moving around in my wherever. Don't know what you call the parts. I don't even know where it was lodged. So it kept moving around, and I asked her. My purpose for calling her was, like I said, I told her the last time I was there, I was only there once before. The doctor there told me that I had to call my doctor's office first before I went into there. And I was quite shocked when that happened. I hadn't made a video. I don't know if I put it up or I usually put them on private. But the doctor actually told me that I had to call my doctor to get permission to go to an ER. Never, ever, ever, ever have I ever heard that, myself or anybody else. And she said, so I called that, asked the woman on the way there, and she said, nobody told you that. She says, we're in an ER. Nobody would ever tell you that. I said, they did. Now, first off, that's her saying that I'm a liar. You know, that's how some people would see it. Me, I'm just like, this is, yeah. That doctor should not have told me that, but he did. Okay, and the two people, which they don't ever say what is their position, you know, like are they a PA, or are they, like one of them that day, last day was a radiologist that was testing my blood pressure. That's a whole story in itself. Really, she got angry and slammed out the door because me being in pain with her trying to get my blood pressure, pain at my hand that she was doing it on was blood red. And I'm telling her, this is the second time she did it with a different kind of cup. I threw it off of me and said, this is hurting me. And what she said, what she was so angry about, she said, well, I have to get your blood pressure. You know, that happened to me one other time at another hospital, a different one. These are idiots. What's more important to them is that they get that number, you know, the blood pressure numbers, than my pain and my hand turning red, like, you know, practically like that over there. You know, darker than that, just dark red. And I got mad. I said, you know, something I said, this is only logical. You know, I was mad. And the doctor, and as I asked her later on, the nurse, were both in there, and the nurse finally told her, you know, just wait on it. You know, she said, try the other one. The nurse of my age, not as stupid as that radiologist. But really, oh, you're in pain? Well, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Oh, it's turning really bad color? I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing because I need to get this finished. That's the mentality. God, psycho, man. I have said this before. I'm not really diagnosing. This is just me being a little bit miffed. A little bit. I'm just shocked. But not really shocked. I've seen so much of it. But just continuing to see it, it's not surprising. If I were to diagnose anybody, it would be myself. You know, this, what is it called? Complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Just from doctors and healthcare providers alone, I should be diagnosed with it. Just from dealing with them in my lifetime. Seriously. I cannot believe that people actually have this kind of mentality to think that them getting the blood pressure number so they can put it in the chart comes before somebody being in pain from what they're doing. And that's not the only kind of thing either. These people need to lose their license. Each and every one of them. Seriously, for what I've been through. Okay, well, I got my exercise in for the day. I put it that way because I have been, like many people, today is, like I said, May 2nd. Like many people here in Texas, I don't know about where you are, if it's the same, I would imagine. It is somewhat, at least. Allergy season. Oh my gosh, the grass and the trees. Pollen. Oh, horrible, horrible. And I've had it for a week or so. I don't even know what the terminology to use for these anymore. Like, when is it an episode and when is it an allergy attack? And that's not my area either. So, but Adam is at home, and he's not. He's always at home, but he's at home right now, not with me. He's pretty bad off, but he smokes. I don't know how much of a difference that makes. I quit smoking, remember, about almost 2 years ago. And don't know that it made me any healthier because I haven't been sick with flu or cold or anything, allergy that bad until this year. and for 8 years. And then this year I have both. Well, it started off as like a flu, the last one in February. Then it went to allergies, and now this one started off like felt like a cold, and immediately went into allergies. I do not know how that works, so don't think I do. I don't. I could be wrong. All around. But walking, at least I don't get bronchitis. I used to get bronchitis that would turn into pneumonia. That's the way that these healthcare providers would say it. Man. But he's pretty bad off. So for me, I'm over all the head stuff. The eyes still itch a little bitty bit. One of them has, I noticed a while ago, has red. I guess I rubbed it too hard because it itched, and it's kind of got that red on the side, you know what I'm saying, on the eye, the white part of the eye. Yeah, it was pretty bad. My eyes were so swollen and so red, and my nose itches. It had been itching really bad. Yeah. No kids on that bus, so there won't be kids in my video. And it is 2:14 p.m., so yeah, there shouldn't be. Anyway, where was I with this whole thing? About getting choked and that getting lodged in my whatever. I wouldn't even call it the esophagus. I wouldn't know what to call it. Like I said, I would not know what to call it. Anyway, really didn't get any except, well, you know, when I got to the ER, the guy said that they could do a CT and see where it is, or they could just give me this mixture of something, and that it would help and it would dissolve it, and it doesn't dissolve it, as the nurse told me later. But and she finally came back. I was getting so miffed. Really, she finally came. She said, "Well, I'm the only person here." I don't care. Hire enough people, man. You know, they have on staff. They'll have one doctor and one nurse. I don't know. Like I said, they don't introduce themselves, but I saw the woman's thing that was the radiologist who was testing my blood pressure. Okay, and the time before, I think it was somebody else. I think he was an intern and a nurse and a doctor. But anyway, it was just so pathetic. You know, the whole thing, you know, the woman first doubting me that anybody told me that, but once I got back there was a whole different attitude, and I noticed that they didn't say, call your doctor first. I just think that they thought that I didn't have health insurance. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know what I'm saying. Did I mention I live in Texas? Anyway, I'm talking reality here. Not what someone thinks, you know, happens when a person goes to an ER without health insurance. I know for a fact what happened to me. I have health insurance now, so this last one wasn't that way. This was this year, not last year. These two, but you know, I mixed it all up and makes it confused. I went to the ER 3 times last year for the same thing, which the doctors back then said it was probably, you know, after that, not the ones in the hospital, not the nurses, none of that, but the doctors, that they sent me these papers to go talk to them. You know, they might as well said, you lowly, no insurance people. You know, person. They might as well have said that, really. Their attitude. And those people that I called from their own list said, oh, and they knew which hospital it was. They said, oh, you went to the hospital without insurance, and they will let you die. It was a mantra. They will let you die. Each one of them, none of them connected to one another as far as I know. But they said the same thing. Each phone number I called said the same thing. They will let you die. I don't doubt them. Really, my experiences. And then this year, I've been twice. Okay. The last one was getting choked. That's a good reason to go to a hospital. I would think it's a really good reason. But like I said, it wasn't choking me to where, at that point, to where I couldn't breathe. It was just lodged. And how would I know? This is my question lately, last year and this year, is how would I know that? How would I know? Like today, asking this woman, she said, I want to make a complaint. She said, who do you want to make the complaint to? There was a lot more conversation about it. I said, well, I need to know who it is who's you know, the person over this department. And she said, I need a name. I said, how would I know that name? I'm asking you, who is this person? Well, I would need to know exactly which person you want to speak to. Would you want to make a complaint against? Or what would you make it? And I had just gone through the whole thing of what I want to make a complaint about. I think they hire idiots. Oh my goodness. I record some of these things. Believe me, if I put them out. Oh, and by the way, that hospital that I went to when I was choking, they have now put up a sign. I've only been there once before. But they put up a sign that says absolutely, what was the term they used? Oops, sorry. Stop driving for me. My car drives for me. Oh my goodness, if I don't turn my blinker on. Anyway, another reasons. Let me put it on here so you won't go crazy. But, what was I saying? Absolutely prohibited would be taking any recordings, any videos, and something else. I don't know if it was pictures. I think it was photos. I mean, really? You know what that says to me? And by the way, I'm a social and behavioral scientist taught at college and university. So, what does that say to me? That they got caught. That's what it says to me. That they got caught big time. And they got busted by some patient who was mistreated. And they had videoed it and whatever went from there. To me, that's what it would be. I could be totally wrong. But to me, that's what it would be for them to put up that suddenly. At least one of theirs got it busted somehow, some way, for mistreating patients. Like the woman that was doing that with my, trying to get my blood pressure. The other two left. The other two, you know, they don't, at the time they didn't say who they were, but one was the doctor and one was the nurse. And they left out of the room, and so she and I were the only ones in the room. She tried the second time. I said, you know, and I just took it off of me. I mean, come on, be there when you're there. If you're seeing somebody's hand turn that color and they're saying they're in pain, be there. God, I mean, ridiculous. And so I just took it off. And she was ticked off and she slammed out the door. It's a glass door, by the way. And the whole thing was glass. She shoved that thing to where I can't see out and nobody could see in. She slammed that door. It had a rubber thing at the, where I guess that happens a lot. They have to put some rubber on that door so when they slam it shut. Then she came back a little bit because apparently they may have told her that she's in trouble deep. They probably hurt her. Okay, you're gonna go around me, aren't you? You're gonna park right next to me. But anyway, she slammed the door because she was angry. Her getting that score was more important than me being in pain in my hand. And by the way, I'm bruised. Yeah, she bruised me. Okay. So anyway, but she came back later and acted like there was something on the floor and there was something sitting on the floor. It probably flew off when she slammed the door. And she came back and got it and walked out, you know. Ooh, she needs to be fired. That's one that needs to be fired, really. If you're putting somebody's, you know, you're getting your number, getting your part of it done so you can go back to sit down in your chair or whatever she was going to go do. That was so much more important that it was had to override a patient being in pain because of what she was doing. Wow, I don't trust them anymore. And the video that I made that I put on private after it happened, I mentioned this word megalomania. I kept saying that I had seen it just the other day, and it was the perfect word. I mean, I know what megalomania means. It was the perfect word for this. Okay, and I was thinking this is the perfect word for pretty much all that I have seen. They are so much adoring themselves with their narcissism. Oh, they're obsessed with themselves and their power over everybody. How good they are, how wonderful they are. And the patient said, hey, look what you're doing to me. I'm in pain here. You know? Oh, don't shake them out of that. And plus, don't dare tell them they are wrong. Oh, she was wrong. She was wrong. Period. But don't you tell them that. She's going to slam the door. These are children throwing temper tantrums. Really. Throwing temper tantrums. Their age says otherwise. That they're actual adults. But their behaviors don't. And I've said this for years now. I've been doing videos about basically toxic people. People who have problems. They have issues. And this megalomania. But what I was saying about that, the other one I made and put on private, I was saying that I had heard it the other day, but somebody was saying, and somebody who should know on TV, they were saying megalomania. But it could be a difference between Canada and the United States, maybe? I don't know. And then I kept saying there's a game, and then there's something, and I looked it up, and there wasn't a game called Megalomania. It separates them out. And but there's a game. Maybe it's a something to do with the lottery. I don't know. I don't bet. I don't do any of that stuff. That's something along that line. I don't know. I could be wrong. But anyway, this name, you know, people who are basically obsessed with themselves and their power, what they perceive as their power. Yeah, and I've seen it quite a bit. Quite a bit. Remember, put her finger in my face. I know I'm laughing and it's not funny. It is not. But put her finger in my face and said, I will tell you what to do and you will mind me. And then did it to Adam. The first time she did it, Adam was like totally shocked. I think he was in another world at the time. And she put her finger in his face and said, and you will make sure that she does. And Adam raised his hand like it was a police officer coming out. That kind of, Adam even had a laugh. He was saying, I was just, what the? He's older than I, you know, and he's not used to this kind of stuff. Really, he's not used to people. I am, with this health condition, I am, like I said, rare health condition, because they don't want to have to think. All they want to do, I've run across far too many, they just want to renew prescriptions. That seems like that's all they want to do. And I saw something on that when I was watching, what's it called? What is that show called? It's a series in Alaska. It's an older one from the, when was that? 1980s, 1990s? I was just watching it, earlier this year or last year? Finally watched all of it. There's two of them, and the one about Canada was Murdoch Mysteries. I had watched a little, before when it was on and all that stuff when they were on, but this time I'm starting from the beginning and going all the way through, even if I've seen them before. Northern Exposure was the other one. And then they said what was his, Fleischman? He said, told another doctor, he said, basically he was saying the same kind of thing, that there they actually get to practice medicine instead of just basically renewing prescriptions and little bitty things, But what I'm seeing, and I've seen it since before I watched the show, is that they don't want, and I've said this for years, they don't want, the ones I run across, I'm not saying all, I'm saying the ones I run across, remember that, and not all of them, that they don't want to have to prescribe anything. They don't want to diagnose anything. They just want to renew prescriptions. Anything else is too frustrating for them. It's that they have some, this is my guess, they have fear of misdiagnosing. Well, you did it from the start. They always do it from the start. Always. I have not met one who hasn't misdiagnosed me from the very first moment they meet me. Seriously. I'm not going to go into that. But, yeah, being misdiagnosed. That should be a red flag, but I've not met one yet that isn't. So, y'all know. Oh, okay. But anyway, I don't need to say it all again, but this stuff was ridiculous. It was, so what I'm learning is no matter whether I have health care insurance or not, it doesn't make a difference. The treatment is going to be bad. The difference I'm noticing so far, I'm going to sum this part up to now, is when I have insurance, they want to run a lot of tests and spend a lot of money. Spend a lot of that insurance company's money on all these tests. That's what I'm learning so far. I'm not learning that there's really a benefit to going through all that I'm going through, And also, what's the benefit of living in Texas? I was born and raised in Texas. I've moved around once I turned 18 and got the heck out of Dodge. And I moved around quite a bit, but I'm not seeing any advantages to it at all. I mean, I don't even want advantages. I just want what's normal. This is not normal. 60-year-old woman with health conditions, serious health conditions, having to go out there and do things like DoorDash with edema or Uber Eats with edema. And by the way, that doesn't pay. So, not here. Did I mention I live in Texas? It's really not paying much. That's that whole fleet of older gray four-door cars and various types of people who, there's no rhyme or reason to the people doing them. I'm guessing they're just people who do them on their breaks or something from work. They look dressy, except for one. I've seen one parked next to me one time. Yeah, rules of the road didn't apply to him apparently, but he blocked everybody in. Anyway, it doesn't pay. I'm not earning very much, and it's a lot of hassle. A lot of hassle. And the taxes, oh my gosh, because of this whole combination of things, tax season, doing my tax, Adam finally took over, and I have a genius IQ. I couldn't handle it. My brain was just like, oh my, 6 forms or something like that, maybe more. Adam decided he would do it. I'm waiting to see what happens from that. Really, he's a pretty smart guy. But he's, an electrical engineer. He had to learn a lot of math, and he just kind of likes that kind of stuff. He's a money-motivated person. We're complete opposites. I am not at all motivated by money. So anyway, I'm wrapping this up. Talk to you on another video. Bye. Okay, I got home from the store, and Adam had to go to the urgent care. We went to the urgent care. They didn't have a doctor. He said he'll wait to go tomorrow. So we went and got us something to eat. We were talking about it. He wanted a foot long. I wanted a corn dog. We got 2 foot longs.